Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. We're here at the Emergency Operations Center with an update for media on our water main break. Excuse me. Joining us today will be Calgary Emergency Management Agency Chief Sue Henry, Infrastructure Services GM Michael Thompson, and Mayor Jeremy Farkas. We're happy to listen to their updates, and then we'll take media questions right after. Thanks. Chief.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Sue Henry, Chief of the Emergency Management Agency. We're here to provide an update of the water main break along 16th Avenue Northwest, including an update on the boil water advisory that has been in place in several communities since December the 30th. I'm joined by General Manager of Infrastructure Services, Michael Thompson, and Mayor Farkas. Please note that residents in Parkdale, Montgomery, Point McKay, and West Hillhurst remain under a boil water advisory. We know this is inconvenient for those in the area, and I want to say thank you. We are working diligently with Alberta Health Services and hope to have good news for these residents and businesses in the coming days. I also want to remind Calgarians that we're asking everyone, regardless of what part of the city you live in or work in, to please help conserve water so that we have access to drinking water for all Calgarians while we continue to make repairs on the feeder main. Taking simple steps can make a huge difference. As of yesterday, our water has again reached the strain zone at 493 million litres used. We are in the yellow. Our usage goal is 485 or less, which allows us to keep the storage at a sustainable level and make sure there is water available for consumption and life safety purposes like emergency response and fire suppression. So far, today's trends are indicating that we will have a higher demand than yesterday. We are trending towards the red. We ask you to take 3 simple steps. Run dishwashers and laundry loads only when they are full. Keep showers to 3 minutes or less and only flush toilets when needed. These small steps have a huge impact. We are working very hard to get things back to normal, and your support makes all the difference. There is power in 1 minute. Just cutting 1 minute off of your shower saves up to 8 liters of water. That's 2 4-liter jugs of milk every 60 seconds. Every flush can use up to 6 liters of water. Skip just 5 flushes today and you've saved 30 liters. That's the same size as a full-sized camping cooler. A dishwasher cycle can use up to 20 liters of water, and a washing machine can use up to 112 liters of water. That's 28 milk jugs for every load. Please wait for a full load and help us to save water. An average fire truck holds 2,000 liters of water. If 67 people in Calgary saved 30 liters of water today, that's enough for fire crews to arrive at an emergency and begin taking action. We also know that Monday will be a big day with people returning to work and to school. We are worried about the demand on Monday and remind Calgarians to be really mindful of water consumption as you undertake a new routine in these circumstances. We also know that the commute will be challenging. We are working to find ways to alleviate the anticipated congestion, but we know there will be lane closures. So please plan accordingly, and we will continue to update calgary.ca with those closures. I'd like to now turn the podium over to General Manager Michael Thompson to provide an update.
Thank you, Chief Henry, and good afternoon. 2 days ago, we walked you through the condition of the Bearspaw South feeder main and the decisions we had already made based on what we knew at the time. I want to briefly remind you of that context and then focus on how we're moving forward. What we shared previously was following the June 2024 break, we inspected the feeder main using a device called a pipe diver and identified deteriorated segments along the pipe. After the repair of the initial break and 5 hotspots, we worked with industry experts, established a repair threshold, and identified 23 segments requiring urgent repair in the fall of 2024. We understood and communicated that at the time, other segments with wire snaps remained in service. We completed those 23 urgent repairs to stabilize the pipe, with the understanding that the feeder main would continue operating in its current condition while we advanced the long-term solutions. We also acknowledged that the pipe would be closely monitored and that urgent action would be taken if the pipe's condition changed. As you are aware, we installed an acoustic fiber optic monitoring system to provide continuous real-time monitoring of wire breaks and their exact locations along the feeder main. We know the monitoring system was operating normally at the time of the main break. However, as demonstrated this week, monitoring alerts us to some risks, but it does not alert us to every failure. We are continuing to investigate why the acoustic fiber optic monitoring didn't pick up wire snaps for this break and are determining what the failure mechanism was. We're actively working on determining why the pipe broke. I'd like to show you a picture of the 2024 pipe break and the most recent break side by side. As you can see, the break that occurred on December 30th, 2025 appears visually different from the 2024 break. Looking at the current break, the break appears to run horizontally along the pipe. From the middle of the pipe segment to the end of the segment, you can see that the break appears to be very clean and almost like a zipper that opened up the pipe. You can see visible differences from the 2024 pipe break and the 2025 pipe break. Noting these visible differences, the teams are actively working to understand why this section failed and what further investigation is required. We had engineers on site yesterday looking at this pipe, working to determine why it failed. We're also working to understand what this new failure mechanism means for the rest of the Bears Paw South feeder main. We know that when there are pipe breaks, it puts additional stress on the pipe. And as I said, we already knew this pipe was strained and we were monitoring it on a continual basis. Also, as I said on Thursday, as a result of the failure in December, we need to change our approach with respect to how we deal with this pipe. We know we need to adjust how we take action. At this time, our teams are exploring different options to support the stability of the pipe. As we uncover more information, we will develop our plans. We're looking at what those plans will be, and we will proceed to support the reliability of this pipe. This is similar to what we did last time, where we focused on the initial break and came back and did additional repairs. Details on any additional repairs moving forward will be shared as they become available. Since we last updated you, I'd also like to update you on the repair. The repair crew is making good progress. The water in the site has been pumped out and drained, and the pipe has been excavated and uncovered, and the existing pipe is being cut in preparation for it to be removed. As I mentioned, I know that the fiber optic system was working when the pipe broke, and we're working to keep it operational as we repair this pipe segment around that fiber optic system. This moment reinforces how critical our water system is to the city and surrounding communities. We recognize the concerns this situation creates, and we take it seriously. I want to reassure you that our teams are fully focused on managing the current repairs required while accelerating the infrastructure that will support our future. I want to thank Calgarians for your support and understanding, and know we're committed to clear communication and decisive action as this work continues. Thank you all for your water conservation activities as this work continues. Your water conservation activities are critical as we all work through this together. I'd now like to turn it over to Mayor Farkas. Thank you.
Thank you, GM Thompson, Chief Henry. Thank you as well to my council colleagues who are here present with us. We have in the EOC, Councillor Johnston, Councillor Ewell, Kelly, Tyers, Schmidt, Clark, and Jameson. Over the last few days, myself, Councillor Tyers and Atkinson, the impacted area city councillors, and our entire city council team has been out on the ground and talking to Calgarians. We've heard a lot of stories about families planning their mornings around water use, small businesses figuring out how to stay open, seniors wondering how long this will last and whether they're getting the full picture. And as a council team, we hear that and we're taking it absolutely absolutely seriously. No one expects to be dealing with another water issue so soon after the 2024 break. No one should have to wonder whether they're being told the whole story about something as basic as drinking water. That's not acceptable, and it's something that we are changing. We are a large, fast-growing city. Nearly 2 million people depend on this water system every day. And when it's tested like this, our response has to be steady, disciplined, and honest. Here's where we are at today. Crews are on the ground, working around the clock. City teams are fully activated. Council administration are aligned on restoring safe, reliable service as quickly and as safely as possible. For the next little while, Calgary, we need everyone to keep doing their part by using less water, just long enough to get this repair done properly. But Calgarians deserve more than instructions. You deserve answers. That's why transparency matters so much right now. After the 2024 feeder main break, an independent panel of 6 industry experts was brought in to do a full, no-nonsense review of Calgary's water utility. Not an internal review, not a political review, but an independent expert assessment. That work is nearly complete, and we've fielded questions on social media and through the media in terms of why it's not been released yet. In our recent conversations with the panel chair himself, he's made very clear that this panel report can only be released by the authors themselves, despite the fact that an initial draft was provided by city administration. So to make very clear, it is not a report that can legally be released by our city administration. It's a panel report that can only be legally released by the panel itself. On January 13th, that panel will present its full report and recommendations to our executive committee, and we will make that information fully public. We are absolutely committed to giving Calgarians the straight goods, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If there are hard truths in that report, you will hear them. If there are gaps in governance, oversight, or decision-making, we will acknowledge them. And if changes are needed, we will act on them as well. The system is too important to manage behind closed doors. It affects public health, safety, and trust. And at this time, transparency isn't optional. It's fundamental and essential to getting the work done. And while that work moves forward, we are not waiting to act. We're protecting this part of the system right now. We're accelerating the replacement pipe, and we're building real redundancy so that Calgary is more resilient and less vulnerable going forward. So this is about fixing today's problem and preventing tomorrow's crisis. I also want to close on by recognizing the crews doing this work. They're out there right now in tough conditions, handling complex repairs, knowing that an entire city is depending on them. They have our full support, and we'll make sure that they have what they need to get the job done right. And what they need right now from all of us, from residents and businesses, is this: shorter showers, only running the dishwashers when needed, only running full loads of laundry. And as mentioned, every minute in the shower uses about 6 to 8 liters of water. Every flush uses about 5 to 6 liters. These small choices add up, and they help move this repair forward faster. So if we stay focused and work together, we will get through this. We will restore stability, and we will come out of this with a stronger, more accountable system than we had before. That's our commitment: honesty, accountability, and action. Thank you as well to the members of the media who are here present. I understand that we have a limit of about 10 minutes today to field questions from media. Afterwards, our emergency professionals have to be heading back downstairs. Following this briefing as well, there will be an opportunity for council members to engage with city administration and emergency professionals for a more detailed review or questions and answers if required. So thank you so much for being here, and I'm happy to take your questions.
Hi, I'm Noah from the Calgary Herald, and I was just going to ask if you could respond to the Premier Smith's comments yesterday about the province looking to maybe take some control of water infrastructure away from the city potentially if they were to provide funding. Could you just respond to that, and would you invite additional provincial oversight on this infrastructure?
Thank you. The question is regarding provincial engagement and oversight on water utilities and municipal governments here in Alberta. We definitely welcome the conversation. We have been engaged deeply with the Premier as well as her designates, the various ministers on point, Minister Dreeshen and Minister Williams and others. So we're still at the point of assessing through this independent panel review what the governance and resourcing requirements might be in order to ensure that in a big picture level that this doesn't happen again here in Calgary. But I just want to say a thank you to the Premier as well as federal counterparts such as Member of Parliament Corey Hogan for being engaged deeply at the federal and provincial levels to assist us with this. So again, very much welcome the conversation about how the provincial government could lean in with greater resources and infrastructure funding. And if greater funding came to municipalities, we'd expect there'd be a greater accountability for those funds so that they know how the money is being spent.
And would you agree or disagree with the Premier's statements kind of attributing these pipe breaks to failings of previous city councils?
Well, it's clear that this problem is a result of successive councils that failed to step up and address the problem. I was a council member from 2017 to 2021, and early in my council term, I worked alongside Councillor Drew Farrell to daylight the issue of Calgary's aging water pipes. We worked on a notice of motion, say, addressing Calgary's lead water pipes. We raised the issue of the incredible loss rate that Calgary was experiencing. It's about 25% of Calgary's water right now that is lost in our overall system due to the aging nature of our infrastructure. We still have lead pipes, wooden pipes, no wooden pipes? Oh, the wooden pipes are gone. I've been corrected on that. So we have significant strains and challenges in terms of the infrastructure that we have, and this is an issue that's been contributed to by successive city councils. But our council is united in terms of the buck stops with us. We are taking responsibility, we're taking accountability, and we're doing everything that we can to not just address the short-term requirement for a fix to this feeder line, but make no mistake, Calgary is sitting on a ticking time bomb. This Bearspaw feeder main will continue to break until a complete alternative is built. So we will do absolutely what's required to patch this pipe to get it back into service as soon as humanly possible in a safe way. But the long-term and medium-term fix is accelerating that redundant pipe. We're going to have to build that replacement pipe faster than we've ever built anything before, and we're going to need to do it right the first time. So we're going to be leaning on our federal and provincial counterparts to assist us. But in the immediate term, we need the help from Calgarians to support those crews doing the work. We need to do absolutely everything that we can to conserve water, to keep us out of the red zone, so that those crews can do the needed work and we can action the long-term fix.
Yeah, Drew Miller, CTV Calgary. Does the cold weather affect the reconstruction compared to the summer water main project?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So the question was about weather and whether or not the cold weather impacts the repairs. And so obviously when we're working in the cold, it does slow things down. It's more difficult. The crews are doing really well outside right now on this repair. And so just a huge shout out to the crews, the work that they're doing out in the field to get this done. And so we are working away, but definitely the cold weather can impact us. And we've been really lucky that it hasn't been those really negative temperatures right now as we're working away.
Does Alberta Pipes have asbestos?
So our new pipes that we're putting in do not have asbestos in them.
Good afternoon. I'm Rashad from City News. So to confirm, all of Calgary is under stage 4 water restrictions right now. And do you have a timeline for how long those would last for?
So that is correct. The entire city is under stage 4 water restrictions right now. And we really are asking all Calgarians to lean in and do what you've heard. Shorter showers, do only full loads of laundry and dishes, and reduce your flushes. Those small actions across so many of us make a huge difference to our system, and we really need everyone to lean in and help out. We're all working on this together right now. As we mentioned last time, we believe this repair will take about 14 days. We're also looking at what else might be needed across the system. As I mentioned, we don't know why this pipe broke. We were expecting to hear those wire snaps and go in and do an urgent repair, and so we have to figure out if there's anything else that's required across the system, and we're actively working on that now, and we'll update you when we know more.
Just to follow up, the mayor said that this is just a patchwork job right now to repair, to fix, and keep it going for a temporary period. So is the long-term plan to replace the whole pipe?
Yes, as I've mentioned, so the question was, are we currently just patching the existing pipe and the long-term fix is to install a new pipe? And the answer is yes. As I mentioned on Thursday, earlier this week. We're currently repairing urgent sections of the pipe and repairing pieces that break. The long-term plan is to install an almost 6-kilometer new steel line from the Shaganappi pump station to almost the Bull River. We've got a contract out in market right now, and we need to speed that work up. And we will do everything we can to speed that work up, because until that new pipe is in place, we will have challenges with this existing pipe.
Thanks. Global.
Drew Stremick, Global News. We know that the Bearspaw feeder main as well as the Glenmore feeder main were installed in 1975 and 1974 respectively. These pipes have a lifespan of 50 years. We're now at 51 and 52. Why didn't previous capital budgets include the replacement of these feeder lines sooner?
And so I think as we've heard, this has been a problem that's been in the making for generations. We've relied too heavily on one piece of infrastructure to move the majority of our city's water. And we need to replace that with a new pipe and really think about redundancy across our entire system. We've talked about that last year after we learned about this. We're focused on building redundancy across our system, and we need to be looking at that as we go forward.
And I guess, Mayor Farkas, maybe you could answer this follow-up. Previous councils, a lot of members tend to have a focus on, nickel and diming, finding savings here and there. With the 2024 break, we saw the cost of that repair being 20 to 25 million. How much investment is worthwhile in your mind to make sure that we're being proactive and not reactive when it comes to future breaks?
Our council is united. We will spare no expense to fix this, not just for today, not just for tomorrow, but for the next 100 years. Under our council term, we will fix this, and we will fix this for good. Our first budget adjustment cycle called for dedicated streams of tens of millions of dollars of brand new infrastructure maintenance funding. It also called for about $1 billion of investment, not just specific to this, but elsewhere in the city. So we will spare no expense. We will do this faster than anything we have ever done before. We will do it faster, and we will get it done the right time, so the Calgarians will never have to worry about something so fundamental as clean, safe drinking water ever again on our watch for the next 100 years.
And one more quick follow-up, if I may. I noticed in the budget that the per capita employment of infrastructure employees with the city, we've had a slight decline over the number of years since 2023. Is that part of the plan as well, to increase the number of city employees who are responsible for the maintenance and inspection of this type of infrastructure?
Right now, all options are on the table. We have to fund a modern water distribution network that's ready for 2 million people. So we're looking at all possible options here. It's not just the physical maintenance of the pipes themselves, it's also the governance of the people who are involved. We need to make sure that we have accountability and transparency. I'm expecting that a significant discussion of this will be part of the independent panel review that council will have its hands on very shortly, and the public very shortly after that. But again, all options are on the table. Our council will spare no expense, and we will work closely with our provincial and federal counterparts to fix this and fix it for good.
Okay, time for 2 more questions.
I'm just curious, we are seeing online the pleas for people to reduce their water use. Any plans to send out any kind of emergency alerts? Are you able to do that?
So the question was around the use of the emergency alert and whether we have plans to do that. There is available for us the Alberta Emergency Alert, and there's 2 different choices. We can either send out an alert that goes on to people's phones on an app, which we did when this first occurred on December the 30th. Folks will have received that notification through the app that we needed them to conserve water and that there was a boil water advisory. We also have the ability to send out a critical alert, and there's a couple of conditions that need to very clearly be met before we're able to send that alert. One of those conditions is an immediate life safety risk to the public. The second is that we need them to be able to take an action within 30 minutes and provides clear direction to them of what that action is. So it remains a tool that we can use, but Calgarians can do this for us right now. And I understand that it's frustrating, but if every Calgarian does this, we won't be in a position where it becomes that absolute emergency that we need to send out the emergency alert for.
City?
One follow-up question for Mayor. This is for the newsroom. Could you please comment on the situation in Venezuela and your message to Venezuelans here in the city?
I unfortunately haven't been briefed on the current situation, and I'm not comfortable to speak to it.
One more, Noah?
I
Final
just-
question from Noah.
I just had one question, I think, from Mr. Thompson. It's just a clarification. When you were kind of describing the pipe being at high risk of potentially another break, and in asking Calgarians to reduce water consumption, that's obviously about ensuring supply can keep up with demand, but is that also to reduce consumption and the amount of pressure? Does that serve to reduce the pressure on the pipe and potentially reduce risk of another break, which it sounds like, you know, there's a very high risk that that could happen?
Yeah, so the question is really around the reduction of water usage right now and the impact on the pipe. And so we're asking Calgarians to save water right now because this pipe is out of service. And when this pipe is out of service, we cannot move 60% of the city's drinking water, and we rely heavily on the Glenmore water treatment plant. You may recall from last time this happened, we really ramped up production at the Glenmore water treatment plant, and that's our concern right now is we have one water treatment plant that's providing the majority of the water for the city of Calgary. And we need to reduce consumption because we just can't meet that heavy demand when we have two plants running versus the one plant. And so the reduction in consumption right now has nothing to do with the pipe itself. We're looking at the pipe, trying to understand why it broke differently than it had previously. They're two separate things. The reduction in consumption is about our ability to supply water across the city right now.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your help. Please be in touch with Media Relations if you have any follow-up questions or any fact checking you need to do. We'll be around and we'll be in touch about tomorrow. Thank you.